we're talking about the omoplata position. We're just gonna review the arm, reverse arm bar from here. So if we're in the omoplata position and we're like, just don't feel like we're gonna be able to finish this, I wanna get my knee on the inside of his knee, like this, right? And it's gonna lock into his shoulder. And I just wanna maintain his posture, usually by holding my leg up here. You can figure for it, doesn't really matter. I just wanna hold him here, right? If I can get it from here, great. If for some reason he just decides he wants to do a somersault, as you hold on to it, as you're gonna get to this, so you guys come over here, this way. I'm just continuously pulling this arm up to keep the slack out of his arm, and then I'm just gonna fold my leg either like this and then fall in as a normal arm bar. But I'm showing that because if you have that position, you don't have to let it go necessarily. So as we come over here to this omoplata, I always want my knee in, because like I was telling Devin, if for some reason, like once you start really getting, and this is just to show the cycle of jiu-jitsu, if for some reason I want to, like as he rolls, I might lift my leg inside of his, and now I'm in a 50-50 position with a heel hook from the arms to legs, like showing everything of how it moves together, right? But it starts with knee placement. If my knee wasn't in the correct place, I would never have that position. So what we're gonna do is we're going to start from the omoplata, and then we're gonna put our knee, making sure our knee's in a good position, get to the arm bar. Once you feel like you have that, have your partner just shoulder roll. As they roll, lift up their arm so it doesn't get loose and drop to the ground. Go for the arm bar. Does that make sense? All right, 1, 2, 3. So we've been going over, I know some of you guys haven't been here, but yep, sure enough. From the close guard, right? I'm always looking at different ways to attack, whether it's getting his hands off me, going for this Kimura, switching it to the guillotine from here, going to, getting his posture down, coming into this omoplata position. Then obviously the omoplata will turn into this armbar position, et cetera, et cetera. Like if the omoplata comes into the triangle, so he lifts his head, and I want to start triangling from here. All those submissions, right, come from little movement from me, and I'm maintaining control on him, right? But with the normal, I feel like in close guard, moves transition off of other moves, right? So for us, for the triangle, like when we were going for the omoplata, and we do this little knee peek, right? As I knee peek, what I can do is swim to, like, see how it looks like I'm going for the omoplata, but then I'll just transition to this triangle position, right? So that's what we're going to practice, is coming to this triangle. When we're going to the triangle from here, most people can get to this. It's finishing it that has the problem, because they try to finish it square on, which you can. You can pull his head down and make it bad for him. But most importantly is I want to keep his head down, grabbing my shin. Then I'm going to put this outside foot into his hip and turn this corner. Now that I have this corner, I don't want to set my leg on my toes. I want to set it by my hand. And then I'm going to just take my knees, how they're like this, and I'm going to turn my knees, right? And obviously I'm going to hold his head. But if you can get that motion down, taking the triangle like this, where I'm straight on my back, and when I turn that angle, it's going to close the triangle. It's going to make it a hell of a lot tighter, right? So for this drill,
could you show a transition again?
Yeah. So this, I just want to get, there's a many ways to get in the triangle. Mind you, I'm just trying to get one arm in and one arm out. Here I'm just going to grab a normal like collar tie, and I get the C grip to just poke my knee out, right? I can control him here. I could either switch to this omoplata, or what I can do is when I make this turn, it's going to free this leg here, and I'm going to clamp. As I clamp here, I might just hold, because now I'm in like a good control position. Now I can take my time. He knows he's in trouble, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this head up, and I might lift up to get this arm here. Now I'm going to switch my angle, put my foot in the hip, turn, latch, and go, right? Pull into head. So try to get that peek out, or that knee peek, and the further you can get it out, the easier it's going to be for the triangle. Does that make sense? The options of, if we're just close here, we can peek this knee out, transition over, triangle, right? Now, what if we get this over and we're like, dude, I don't feel like I can finish this triangle. What we're going to do is we're going to switch to this arm bar. Okay. Right here. And the great thing is if he fights out of this arm bar, I'm just going to come back to this triangle. And we're just going to go back and forth until he taps, right? So it's going to be the same exact transition. And really, if you look, nothing's changed except for like two little things, right? So from here, it's going to be the same thing. Nice knee peek. Like I said, if you have dexterity, I can't do it from square, but if you have hip dexterity to get your leg out, if not, just switch your angle, kick this leg out, and come in. If you notice, all control stays on his head, right? So from here, I'm just going to hold, latch, and come to this position. If for some reason I'm like, I don't feel like I can finish this triangle, this arm on the side of my, like how it's into my pocket, I just want to come and grab it a little bit more so it's in my like triangle here, because I know when I cut this angle and I come forward, I'm going to be able to take it, right? So it's the same thing. So just get to the triangle, and then all you're going to do is just switch the angle like the same, put your other foot over and go for the arm bar. Does that make sense? All right, we'll keep going through this, and then I'll have one more thing to show, and that should be good. All right, 1, 2, 3. So from your closed guard, a lot of the times if you know, like when their hands go to the mat, that's good for us, right? I want their hands to their mat. But there's the position of the shoulder crunch, right? And I know a lot of the times people show it with like a gable grip. What I want us to try to do is control it with what is like a butterfly grip, right? This gable grip is good, but I feel like this is a heck of a lot tighter. And when I hold him tight to my body, and I'm not afraid of him posturing up, it's gonna allow me to move without worrying about him getting out of my control, right? So as I get to this like tight control position, I'm gonna start shrimping myself like to hip out. And then once I feel good, I'm going to transfer this butterfly grip with his head attached to butterfly grip onto his shoulder, like a shoulder crunch. Now once I'm here, I want to put my leg on top of his leg to control posture, but I need to get his arm to my like ear, right? So there's a way I can do that without really moving my arms. I'm going to move my body. So I'm going to push here like this, right? And then from here, I'm just going to come up to his back and I'm going to find his elbow, and I'm going to crush down here, right? So right now, Devin has my leg trapped to where I can't gain space. So I might have to shrimp out here and find this again, right? Now, this is a hard position. This is easier in no-gi because you can see physically where his elbow is, right? But in gi, or if he has a long sleeve, I need to find this his hard elbow and go right above it. And I'm basically taking my hands and turning like this and then crunching down. If for some reason his arm moves and I'm like, oh, there's no problem here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift, come up onto this position here. I can probably finish like this. If for some reason I can't, you see how my foot is hooking to scoop, 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 scoop. See how my foot is hooking here? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this position. Like I said, I can finish it from the top, but if I want to get him on his back, I'm going to take and I'm going to roll here and finish the armbar again, right? You don't have to do all those fancy movements, but if you notice, from each point there's an armbar. Why? Because it's the same thing. I'm isolating the shoulder and I'm extending the joint in the way it's not supposed to go, right? So what we'll do from the shoulder crunch position is I'm going to basically from here, I'm just going to pick a side, swim under, and get to a control here, right? As I'm controlled and I'm like, all right, cool, I feel like I can shrimp, I'm going to shrimp my body out. I want to try to get my knee inside of that bicep so he can't trap my leg. Once I'm here, switch to this shoulder here. Move, find it. I'm turning it, gaining away, finding this crunch. Sometimes I might have to like reconfigure my hands here, right? Once I go, if I feel his hand turn, this is when I'm gonna just grab it, extend my body to come up over on top of him, right? Basically from on top of him, I'm just trying to keep his head pinned, take this arm and lift up. That's it. And I'm keeping really tight with my legs. If for some reason you feel like, you know, you've been doing this for a while and you guys want to go with the roll, all I'm going to do is take the outside hand, grab into his arm. I want to find like my hand in this hole, and I'm going to turn. That's it, right? So try to do the first two. If you're like, I don't want to do the roll right now, don't do it, right? Just know it's an option. So we'll go through the first two, trying to find a good placement for your body. Get it. Once we do, we'll go to the belly down. All right? 1, 2, 3. So basically, just to summarize our closed guard, first we were talking about getting their hands off of my body, and then when I come up, I'm going to grab this Kimura trap, pulling their head down, not chasing it all the way here. I'm going to pull their head down so I don't have to lose that race, right? Get into this Kimura, you can lock it up, you can go from here. If for some reason you get here and you're like, I don't know why, I don't want to do the Kimura, you can take your arm around that, get to this guillotine from the closed guard. What? Yes. So as I get for the omoplata, get this wink out here. Omoplata, going here, kicking him up, searing him on the side. If for some reason I feel like he's gaining like height on me, I'm gonna come up, bring my knee in front of his face, cut the angle for this triangle position, right? You can omoplata, drop your knee again with this armbar, pushing it. If he rolls, be able to keep this armbar finished. And then lastly for today, same setup as the omoplata, but we're not going to omoplata, we're going to cut the angle, swing our leg out, plant, hold, get his head away, our arm out of the way, foot to the hip, cut the angle, triangle. If for some reason you can't get this triangle, all we're going to do is hold his head, push, armbar, right? And then lastly, you're getting this in here, grabbing this butterfly grip, gripping out here, finding the elbow, coming in, plant. If for some reason he spins, go here, lift my body out, extending to get on my elbow, being able to armbar him this way, or cut through and roll. Right? A lot of different movements, but as you get familiar, pick a couple, master a couple, and move on to the next. But you should be able to attack them on left and right side, interchange them. That's how people get good. It's like boxing. You might hit them out with a knockout punch, but if you set it up with jabs and different types of punches, more likely to win the round.